Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Tonight, we gonna let it away. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it away.
That was a little weird. I turned the off button off and then it went back on. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Titaniumbuilt. My name is Tanya. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. This is the channel where we do break down true crime cases. We do ongoing investigations and whatever's going on in the courtroom. And if we're following those cases and they go into the courtroom, then we proceed to follow them into the courtroom. But if that's something that you're into, make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe to the channel, all the good things. If you do enjoy deep dives like this one, or really not the one we're going to do tonight, but we normally do some deep dives, make sure you become a member of our channel because we'll be doing some more deep dives over on our members only as well. So welcome in, everyone. It's good to see everybody. We got the vertical and the horizontal. I know it's crazy. I need to ask YouTube about that if it's even worth doing it, because it doesn't, I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird. But we're going to talk about Luigi Mangione tonight. It has been a while since we've talked about him. Like, I was going back and I had to go back and back. I was like, wow, it has been a while. But I know that there's just been stuff going on in his case, and I figured what better time than now, you know, to go ahead and just get back and see what is kind of going on. What we'll watch tonight, it'll give us like an overview of the whole case, and then we'll see how this video does. And if it does well, then we'll keep following the case. But let me get down here. So this case has sparked a lot of national coverage, like not even just like radio, television, news, things like that. I'm talking about the women and the men that have fallen in love with Luigi Mangione. I'm like, whoa. whoa, honey, slow down. I listened to this thing by the Rolling Stones, and I would play it, but I don't know if I can or if it would get like copyright. Let me turn this up a little. If it's too loud, let me know because it's really hot in here. That is kind of loud. But it was this 56-year-old woman, which I think she was lying about her age. She looked a little bit older to me, but I mean, nothing wrong with it, but she did. And she was like, I don't know if I want to mother you or F you. And I was like, what? I was like, what'd she just say? I was like, ma'am. And then it was like, it like cut into these different people. Like this guy, he was like, oh, I always pick the bad boys. I'm bad boy Italian guys. And like, I was like, okay. And then like this girl was like, I'm not trying to be like that with him. Like, I want him to like me for my like personality, or, that girl. And I'm just like, well, no, I'm saying she looked a little older than 54. There's nothing wrong with it. She was like, I'm 54 or 56, maybe it was. And I was like, are you? She looked a little bit older than that. I think she kind of wanted to say she was a little bit younger so that maybe Luigi be watching, and be like, ooh, because I was like, ma'am, the way she made me laugh, I was like, oh my goodness, do you speak to your mother with that? Did you? No, it was pretty funny. I was watching it before I came on and I was like, wow. I think they're going to do like a series or some sort of documentary. Rolling Stone is going to do it with, I guess, Luigi's case. So be on the lookout for that. But we haven't talked about this case in a while. This case goes all the way back to December 4th, 2024 in Midtown Manhattan. According to investigators, basically, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was attending an investor conference at a hotel in the area when he was shot and killed outside of the venue. Basically, he was staying on one side of the street at a hotel and the venue was on the other side of the street. So the dude only had to like go like over, I think, across the street, and then maybe he went across that way and then walk down the street. So authorities say, we saw it though, that a shooter came out with, and he used a 9mm pistol equipped with a suppressor, and it was all caught on video. This attack was calculated, in my opinion. It was quick, it was quiet, and it was calculated. After the shooting, the suspect allegedly fled the scene on one of those bicycles that you can rent, traveling through Central Park and disappearing into the city. When he went through Central Park, though, he left his book bag there, so that wasn't very smart. But that triggered a massive manhunt for this guy. I remember when this case first started, it was like, who could it be? Like, who could have done this, right? Like, it was a who could have done this in the beginning. Investigators quickly began piecing together surveillance footage, though, travel records, witness statements, and they identified a suspect. Within, it was days, they had the name of their man, Luigi Mangione. The suspect identified was Luigi Mangione, 26 years old, from Maryland. I think what shocked people the most about him was his Ivy League, like, he's an Ivy League graduate. His family was very wealthy. He was a software engineer. He was, a student that was like high achieving. He, did a lot in school. And his family was they're very wealthy. I don't think that they're paying for his lawyer, though. I don't know. I think that the United States of America's women and men are paying for his attorney as of right now. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. Investigators say, though, that he had been planning this attack for months. According to the prosecutors, he allegedly stalked Brian for days before the murder, studying his movements and planning the timing of the attack. They also say that Mangione kept notes outlining his frustrations with the healthcare industry, which prosecutors claim were connected to the motive. I still want to, like, I know that he had the injury in the back, and it's like, I still want to like go over that, because to me, I don't know. Like, I mean, that would make you have pain, but I feel like would that put you in that much pain to where you would have this much hatred? Like, I'm made of metal. I don't know. I mean, you think I would hate somebody, but I don't hate nobody. But 5 days after the murder, the manhunt came to an unexpected end because Luigi was eating at a McDonald's when he got caught. And I really don't know how he got caught. Like, with him having that mask and stuff on, I didn't think that he looked like who he was when he took I don't know, like, just something about him other than the eyebrows. They're very prominent. They were very prominent in this case. So after they took him into custody, that's when like the legal battle kind of began. And that's kind of when we watched a couple, I think, of his court hearings, or like we saw him going through the hallway. We couldn't watch him, but we could see him walking to them. And there was a lot of people in those hallways. But the federal charges that he had on him was murder using a firearm, interstate stalking resulting in death, stalking through interstate communications, and discharging a firearm with a suppressor during a violent crime. Then in New York, prosecutors filed 11 state charges, including first-degree murder and furtherance of terrorism, second-degree murder, multiple weapons possession charges, and forgery charges. So he pled guilty to all charges. This case already has some like major legal developments, so we'll go through those. In September 2025, a judge dismissed the terrorism-related murder charge, ruling prosecutors didn't present enough evidence to prove the killing was meant to terrorize the public. Which I can agree with that. Yeah, I don't think that he wanted to terrorize the public per se. However, the second-degree murder charge remains, which could still lead to a life sentence if he's convicted. Do you think he will be convicted of second-degree murder? I wonder. Just in January of this year, a federal judge dismissed 2 of the federal counts, including the charge that would have allowed prosecutors to pursue the death penalty. So that means, no more death penalty. So now it's shifting towards life in prison outcome rather than like an execution if they secure a conviction anyway. But they might not even put him in there for his whole life. My back has curves in it, and it sucks. It sucks bad. Like real bad. But I got metal all in me, and I got surgery. I've had surgery after surgery. I've been poked, prodded, and everything in between. And I've never been had that much hatred for anybody, even the person that did it. Like, that caused the accident. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't even blame that person. I was just like, this really sucks, but just got to do it. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, my mindset must have been different. I know that it was. They must have just had me on the right combination of medication or something, because they literally had, I was positive when I shouldn't have been. Times that I shouldn't have been positive, I was like, it's just being positive, being just radiating sunshine over here. So I can understand, because my mom was like the opposite of me. She would she said when she had like rheumatoid arthritis, she would like be laying down on the floor, like crying. And she had to get shots in her back. Like, I got my shots and I feel okay. So I just thought of that. Actually, I don't think my back's really hurt that much. Thank goodness. But I do feel bad for him having that metal, and especially being in jail right now. I do feel for that, because those beds are not soft. I do feel in a way, because I have metal, and I feel empathetic towards people, even if they do things that aren't, very good. And yeah, hopefully he don't have the top bunk. So another reason why this case exploded online is the divided public reaction. Some people view Mangione purely as an accused murderer, but others have treated him almost like a symbol of anger towards the health insurance industry, and support campaigns have even raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for his defense fund. I heard that was like upwards of $500,000. Polls show that while most Americans view him negatively, a significant minority sympathize with him, particularly younger people. So I'm young. I guess I'm younger. I can sympathize in a way with somebody's pain, but why take out a CEO of a health insurance agency that's not even your health insurance? Does that, like, if I was upset because of my injuries, right? I wouldn't go after Wexner that owns Ohio State. Like, they didn't cause my injuries. You know what I mean? Like, I would probably want to go after the person that caused my injuries. Oh, no. And thank you guys all for being here. You guys are awesome. So, the court still has to rule on what evidence can be shown to the jurors, whether the writings found in Mangione's possession can be admitted, if they can, and how the state and federal cases will proceed alongside each other. He's being tried federally and by the state. So, a targeted CEO murder, a suspect with an unusual background is what we got, a manifesto and alleged motive tied to corporate anger, because he did write a manifesto, and a courtroom battle that's just starting. Like, it's just starting. But he does have a really good attorney. I forget her name. Shoot. She was someone else's attorney that was like high profile. Now I can't think of her name. I think she has short dark hair, but that might not be her. I might be thinking of Caleb Flynn's attorney or something. But I thought we would watch this because I thought it was interesting. And it was like for the 1 year. So it was like a month old, 2 months maybe. But we'll figure. I mean, I don't know what else has come out since then. I think I went through everything. But we could always go back through this case recap that just came out 8 days ago. And then there was something else that came out. Oh, look at that TMZ and stuff. Like, man, okay. Thank you guys all for being here. If you don't mind, will you hit the like button for me? That'd be really great. And I can't believe this happened like all the way back, like 2024. It just seems, I don't know, it just seems so long ago. And I'll see if there's any other updates on any of the other cases that we're covering as we're watching this. And I'll pause it here and there for commentary. I'll leave the screen kind of bigger. That way it's like, well, let me see. I always feel bad for the people on the vertical side. Like, oh, these are not very good layouts that I have at all. I need to fix them. I guess that's just, it's either just me, this one, or the other one. Okay. I really need to fix my layouts. Okay. Oh, that does not sound like fun, Ladybug. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, let me take this back a little bit. There's Brian Thompson.
And in health. Fox News Alert and some breaking news for you right now. So there was a deadly shooting in Midtown Manhattan early this morning. And unfortunately, the CEO of United Healthcare is now dead.
You are literally watching a man being slaughtered in front of your eyes.
I just got off the phone with an NYPD source who tells me that this was not a random attack.
He really was a humble, good person.
Who's the real terrorist? UHC! We, the people, want Luigi free!
No one ever raised any flags about Luigi. He never talked about politics.
We're all on video. We all leave a digital footprint. No matter how many precautions you think you can take, they're gonna get you.
It's New
The
York.
accused assassin of a top healthcare executive is set to be back in New York State court today.
Mangione's lawyers are trying to get a ton of evidence tossed out in this case.
Everything that we're seeing now is really more for cameras than it is for a courtroom.
The fact that it happened here, it happened so dramatically, and it happened in the media capital means everything is going to be scrutinized.
Well, yeah, it will, but we can't see the inside of the courtroom. Unless they change that all of a sudden.
It's been a year since United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down on the streets of New York City, spawning a nationwide manhunt for his killer. The crime and the person alleged to have perpetrated it have divided people across the nation. So how did we get here? And what can we expect as this true crime drama continues to take shape?
This crime occurs in Midtown Manhattan, which is the beating heart of America in many ways. You're near Times Square, you're near Rock Center, you're near Carnegie Hall, you're near a lot of these marquee locations.
This is the epicenter of what most people know New York to be.
This is also one of the busiest times to be in New York City in the entire year. We have the Rockefeller tree lighting later on tonight, so there's going to be massive crowds.
It was also the day of United Healthcare's Investors Conference, an annual event where senior management discussed the company's priorities, performance, and plans for the future.
I think I can actually look up his fund and tell you how much is in there. I think his lawyer was keeping track. So let me see. And how's everything, Jessica? Were you guys okay with the tornadoes and stuff? I was asking about you, and you weren't in here like the next day. I was worried.
The company's CEO, Thompson, was slated to give the keynote address.
Brian Thompson was from a small town in Iowa, but was living in Minnesota for his work, and was somebody who was really loved and considered a down-to-earth guy, kind of like the guy next door. He was working to actually make a lot of positive changes in the healthcare industry.
To a model designed to be proactive and to help keep people healthy.
It's like an American success story, you know, from somebody who comes from Main Street, small town, Iowa, to tops of the business world.
Kevin Coyne attended University of Iowa's business program with Thompson in the late 90s.
Brian was a gifted student, and I stress gifted. He was a remarkable talent in the classroom. He was probably the top student in Iowa's whole business school, probably one of the best they ever had, would be my guess.
But friends said you'd never know.
I remember him being pretty quiet and very humble, given his talent in the classroom and how well he was doing on all the tests and whatnot. He was always very, very friendly to everybody.
That's how he got to be CEO. He was smart and intelligent, and then he was charismatic. Would be able to walk up to somebody, start a conversation.
By all accounts, Thompson was good at his job. Under his leadership, the company's profits increased from $12 billion in 2021 to $16 billion in 2023.
He was brilliant when it came to math and financials to a degree that I can't understate. I mean, I just remember him being remarkably gifted with numbers.
But his success also made him a target.
We were called by an insurance company, and they called us and said, hey, there's a guy named Thompson. He's up and coming executive. There's a lot of unrest with United Healthcare. He's going to go give a speech in Dallas, Texas, that's going to have about 1,000 people in the room. We really want to make sure he's going to be okay. We shut the building down, ran dogs through it, made sure before anybody came in, it was clear.
But he said, I'm walking across the street by myself. And they let him. That doesn't, I mean, you're going to, they locked down. They got dogs sniffing under the chairs, making sure there's no bombs, making sure there's no threat to their lead speaker, Brian. And he says, I want to walk across the street by myself. I know. I remember him saying that. He wanted to walk across the street. Why wasn't someone at least following him? Just, I'll be behind you then. Like, if you're guarding him like the president, that's what they would do. They'd be like, I'll just stand behind. I'm just going to stand behind you then. Like, that's what they would do.
Then we have two guys that were above, watching down, seeing what people were doing. After the speech, she was having dinner with some executives.
Oh, this was
we had to sweep the restaurant for both.
I thought this was before he was winning. I guess this was after. Like the first day, maybe?
Bugs, check if there's any bombs, because in our research, we had found that there was a lot of contentious problems with the company he worked for at that time.
The healthcare industry is a mess. There are a lot of good things that can happen in it, but there's a lot of anger at the healthcare industry and at the system in this country.
Anybody that's a chief executive officer of insurance should have some type of protection around them. The threat level is so high right now because the anger of the people.
In the early morning hours of December 4th, 2024.
The thing was, he wasn't denied And he didn't, and it wasn't like he didn't have the money to go and get his back or his, whatever looked at again. That's not even, he can't play like I didn't have the money to do that. There are so many government funding like places that you can go that will help you if you can't get money from your millionaire parents.
Thompson left his hotel on foot and made his way to the New York Hilton Midtown.
A highly populated, dense area, people on the streets, and you have joggers and people getting coffee. Commuters are everywhere.
He wasn't walking with a security detail. He typically did have security, but he just walked off by himself that morning.
I don't picture him thinking of himself as Mr. Big that needed the big security detail. When you grew up in Iowa, maybe you're not really thinking about security.
I could see that.
Brian Thompson was walking toward the hotel when a man stepped out and shot him from behind. The shooter was wearing all black. He had a mask on. He had a backpack. He's in full camera view, and he has a gun and points it right at Brian Thompson and fires. Not once, but twice.
We knew he wasn't a professional when the gun jammed after any time he got a bullet out of it. You see him go bang, and then you go, oh no. He had to rack another one in. Click, uh-oh, click, bang. He got him a second time. And then he was down
muted.
on the ground and shot him again.
Dang it, I thought I wasn't muted before, so I didn't think I was muted that time, but shoot. No, I just said the person that's like cowering in the corner, that person, I would have been that person. Like I would have been on the street, heart attack, because I would have thought that bullet was meant for me. Do you know what I mean? Like the person that's standing there, they're facing the other way as well. I know he had the suppressor on, but then he walks up to him. And then he had the what was it? Deny. I had it in my head earlier. Delay, defend on the bullets. He wrote that on the bullet casings. Like, so he knew he was going to at least shoot out 3 bullets to get his message out.
A bystander called 911, and within minutes, police arrived at the scene.
Their job first is to render aid. Can the victim be saved? Once you've ascertained whether you can help him or not, get an ambulance there, do all that kind of stuff, you got to preserve a crime scene.
When New York City police officers go to this crime scene, they notice that there are shell casings on the ground, and there's actually writing on these 9mm shell casings.
The words deny and depose were found on the shell casings, and also the word delay was scrawled on a bullet found.
But I think that the book is called What I Said or something. Remember there was supposed to be a book written about it, like the same book, but it wasn't the same, I don't think. Or they were coming out saying that the other one before.
Near the scene.
There's something about and this is common jargon among people who are critical of the healthcare industry because it's talking about things that have to do with denial of healthcare claims by insurance companies.
Armed with new information, police continued to canvass the area for clues.
We all know the traditional gumshoe detective work. You're looking for witnesses, you're pulling video. You're going to be walking the area looking for stuff that the perp might have dropped. And ultimately, they did all of that. But behind the scenes, in modern detective work, a lot of it happens in a cubicle. You have analysts doing.
In case you guys were curious about what it meant, I'm going to let y'all know. I don't think we looked it up before. Okay, so deny is the insurance company's refusal to pay a claim, often stating it is not covered by the policy. Defend is when a claimant sues for coverage. Insurers employ legal teams to fight the claim in court, and depose is a legal deposition, a legal process where attorneys question a witness or claimant under oath outside the courtroom to uncover information or attack credibility. And it says right here, this sequence is often associated with the phrase delay, deny, defend. That's okay. And then it says, and that was reportedly found on the shell casings at the scene of 2024 United Healthcare CEO shooting. So I was right. But then they said something else on here. I'm confused now. I don't know who's right.
Digital work. And you're doing search warrants and subpoenas on the victim's digital footprint. Was he the subject of threats? You say, was there something going on with the company? Is there a proxy fight? Is there a takeover fight? Are any of these things going on?
The fact that Brian Thompson was going to be at this conference in New York City, it was public knowledge. This is not something that was hidden. This was something that happened every year.
Yet how someone knew Thompson's exact schedule for the day was a mystery.
The shareholder meeting that Thompson was coming down the block to attend was about an hour and a half later than when he gets murdered. How did anybody know he would be there at that time?
Well, here's the realism to it. There are weirdos out there that learn who you are. They learn what you do.
It's a stunner of a story, and it has all the markings of a hit job.
When I saw on the news what had happened, there was a lot of shock and disbelief. He was somebody that I don't recall being ever controversial. He seemed to be a really clean cut, clean living individual. So to hear that he got murdered was just shocking.
The NYPD had one thing working to their advantage: surveillance cameras. Tens of thousands of them spanning across all 5 boroughs.
In New York City, there are...
Remember, he went and he cuts through that like little walkway, and I think he dropped his, well, I think we'll say he dropped it. His orange juice or something that he got from the Starbucks, and the granola bar or something he got from the Starbucks. He dropped his trash. Like, dude, your DNA, dude. Just dropping it as you walk away.
Are cameras everywhere. So it wasn't completely surprising that this crime was captured on video. The NYPD start immediately scouring through all of the cameras that they can that are placed throughout the city, and they are carefully able to piece together the shooter's movements.
Riding on that bicycle.
He flees northbound through the cutout between the buildings that's mid-block. At some point in there, in his haste, he drops a phone, which was a disposable phone.
Oh, phone. I thought it was his trash.
He hops on a bike and he takes off through Manhattan.
I'm 1,000% sure. I'm 1,000%. Not 100. I'm 1,000% sure that they told us that it was trash at one point.
You can tell that this person planned this and planned some way to escape.
Or maybe I just assumed that's what it was because they said he dropped something.
They get video of him moving up through the streets on this bicycle.
He flees north. He goes into Central Park. He exits the park on the Upper West Side. Apparently, he abandons the bike, which you leave a bike unlocked anywhere in this city, it's got a shelf life of about 30 seconds.
They get video of him in a cab, and they can see that he's got a mask on. He's got very distinctive eyebrows. It almost appears at one point to be looking directly into a camera in this yellow cab.
And we thought Brian Kohberger had bushy eyebrows.
Goes north, and he leaves town from the bus station in Upper Harlem.
Authorities knew the yet unidentified shooter had left New York City. Once again, they turned to surveillance cameras throughout Manhattan, searching through hundreds of hours of videos recorded days before the attack.
Just about 30 minutes, before the shooting, this man is caught on camera at Starbucks, according to police. They say he bought a drink, finished it, and tossed it in the trash, but it's now evidence in the case, and investigators are working to use that saliva sample to track him down.
So he threw it away.
They were hoping any camera got a good look at his face, and that is exactly what happened.
They tracked down video of the shooter checking into a hostel in New York City, and The shooter appears to make a big mistake by pulling down his mask. And we can see that this person has the same distinctive eyebrows, a big, bright smile, and they're able to release images to the public. Those images circulate on social media like wildfire. I mean, there's a nationwide manhunt on for the person who murdered in cold blood, executed Brian Thompson. An
Everybody
employee
likes McDonald's.
at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, recognizes this person from the photos. This person is wearing a mask.
Look at that. How the hell? Whoever was that McDonald's employee, you should work for like the FBI or something. Like, you do not belong working in a McDonald's. Your brain does not function. It's on a whole new level, because I have seen a lot of people in my day serving tables, and I've never come across somebody been like, oh yeah, that's that guy on the news. Which, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, she sees so many people a day. She probably would have just brushed this off as somebody else if he probably didn't come in looking like this with the hat on, and then the mask pulled up to his eyes to where he has to pull it down when they come and talk to him. That is probably what it was. He probably was, but it was winter. So, you can't really see the eyebrows that much because he has them like half covered. And I will say he has a nice shape to his eyebrows.
Those distinctive eyebrows is sitting in a McDonald's eating a hash brown at a computer and calls 911.
Maybe that's when she got it. She was like, oh, he's taking him by that hash brown.
First of all, that's one of the absolute unsung heroes in this case. If that woman says, oh, I'm seeing things, it's not him, he leaves. God knows where he goes.
Altoona police officers show up at the McDonald's and they approach the person and they ask for ID. And they see that this person has an ID that says Mark Rosario from New Jersey. And they come to realize this is not Mark Rosario from New Jersey. This is Luigi Mangione.
According to the testimony, he saw Mangione literally started to shake. Now, what happens there legally is that you begin to escalate. You're at a place where you can inquire of the person. You don't have probable cause to search. You don't have probable cause to arrest. But you can develop it from the totality of the circumstances.
They find that he has a journal in his backpack. He has a claim of responsibility. Some have called it a manifesto, where he says, I indeed did this. It was actually quite easy to do. My tech is locked down, things of that nature. So he doesn't deny it, according to the writings that are found in his backpack. And also in the backpack, they find the firearm.
Fox News alert, law enforcement has arrested 26-year-old Luigi Mangione, a prime suspect in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
Mangione had multiple fake IDs on him and was carrying a real U.S. passport. He had $10,000 cash as well as $2,000 in foreign currency. Inside a bag, he was carrying a black 3D printed pistol and a 3D printed silencer.
3D printed. That just took away what I was even going to say. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Okay. So this guy comes for money. I don't know how him and his parents, how they are, how their relationship is. Maybe they fell out. I don't know. But he does have enough money in his family. And he had the smarts. He went to an Ivy League school. I mean, he wasn't a dummy. Why didn't he, maybe go about this a whole different way? Like, use some of that money, buy your way up into the, little galas they have at, for the healthcare workers, mix and mingle. I don't know. You know what I mean? He had enough smarts and wits and money about him that he could have maybe made some real change. But has anything changed? Has anybody gotten any free healthcare since Luigi shot Brian Thompson? Has anybody got like a free tote bag, with the purchase of a, liposuction or anything, anything like that? Anything free, a free facelift for the women that want one? I'm just wondering, because I haven't seen any healthcare change. I actually think it's gotten worse since 2024. I would say. I wonder if we could look that up.
For the motive, they also found a 3-page handwritten note. The police say that
no, he's a very handsome guy. I'm not going to take that away from him, but I also think that Brian Thompson was a handsome guy. I like the nerdy guys. What can I say?
Essentially thoughts and motives and manifestations of having ill will towards corporate America.
That's where we develop probable cause for the arrest. He's under arrest in Pennsylvania. He's yelling at the police. He's making political statements. Now you got to get him back here.
Yelling towards the cameras on his way into a Pennsylvania courtroom, 26-year-old Luigi Mangione is facing extradition back to New York City.
He was initially cooperative. He is not now. And so he has been arraigned and transported and will be securely housed pending the filing of additional charges.
When he went in there, he went in one way. Did you notice that? When he came out, did you notice he didn't run his mouth? He went straight up in that vehicle. They done had a long talk with him.
He gets off the helicopter. They welcome him into town. Half of New York City was there. You had all these different raid jackets. You had different agencies because everybody wanted a piece of this thing because it had the patina of terrorism because it was done for ideological
Look at all the different
purposes.
agencies.
And so you potentially had a state case and a federal case.
So, who is Luigi Mangione? And why might he want to kill Brian Thompson?
Luigi Mangione is a young man from Maryland, and he comes from an incredibly prominent and well-to-do family. He started life with such a head start on everybody else. He had every advantage and every opportunity. He went to the best schools. His parents were incredibly wealthy. They were politically connected. He went to the University of Pennsylvania. He had a master's degree. He had a bachelor's degree. So this was somebody who had a major head start in life.
One of the most compelling things is that everything about this person would not lead you to this path. He's a nice looking guy. He has an Ivy League education. He was an athlete. These are not the people we normally see committing these types of crimes.
Every year they have like somebody who's, exceeds academically and in and out of the classroom, and they have them speak in front of our high school. It's weird saying it, but yeah, he was that person that we chose to speak.
When you started combing through his social media, you could see that even with all of that, this is maybe somebody who had some issues. He had a spinal condition, and in some of his Reddit posts, it appears he complained of things like brain fog and insomnia and not being able to sleep.
He seems to be somebody who was adrift, somebody looking for a purpose in life, somebody who had the advantage to be able to travel the country and the world looking for that purpose, as opposed to having to make a living. He ends up living in a surfing commune in Hawaii.
I mean, that could have been what it was. Him surfing. Fudge-sicles, no. Hell, no. You can't be going surfing with no back injury like that. No, crashing on them waves, that would hurt you. That would hurt your back. Yeah, no, it's probably going to come out that he freaking ended up breaking one of his screws in half or something like that. Or maybe one of his screws is, and I don't mean this like literally, but it's kind of fun at the same time. Like he may have a screw loose. Literally. I've broken a screw clean in half, and those screws are like bolts, like that you would put into, a shelf or something. I wish I had mine with me. They're somewhere around here. I think they're in storage, but they're long and they're like, I don't know. They're easy to bend. They're easy to break, apparently, because I broke one and it hurts so bad, but the pain just comes in waves. But when it comes, it's like you cannot even breathe I couldn't even move my leg. I was like dragging it across the floor. So they did surgery.
Yeah, the vibe at Surf Break is young 20-year-olds to all the way up into their mid-40s. They just love the lifestyle. Because it's affordable. It's like an upscale hostel.
By all accounts, the Hawaiian lifestyle seemed to agree with Mangione.
Portable?
He spent his days working remotely as a data engineer for an online auto retailing company, and in his downtime, kept active with volleyball, rock climbing, and hiking.
Now that I'm hearing this again, oh my, rock climbing, volleyball, volleyball, you dive in the sand, you have a back injury, dude. That would be like me going out there and wanting to shoot the hoops or play tennis with one eye. Like that would be smart. Or baseball. There are some things you just cannot do. I mean, and that's fine. Like I cannot do certain things. Play pool though. I can play pool because you close one eye. But yeah, like I closed my good eye. But you know what I meant. Like he shouldn't be doing those things. Rock climbing that's strenuous on your back too.
He even co-founded a book club where they would discuss ideas.
Well, that's a good idea
watch
though.
The sunset.
See, that's
but it is
idea.
reported that his back troubles persisted, perhaps even intensified, after a surfing accident in Waikiki.
I heard he felt weird or something and messed his back up. There's a lot of people out there. If you don't know what you're doing or you're not surfing with the instructor that knows what they're doing, there's like boards flying everywhere.
In a quest to heal his back, Mangione found his way into Dorian Wright's studio, Power Yoga Hawaii.
Power Yoga? Hold on. Why does that sound like it's just really bad yoga, like you're going fast? Oh, it is. Power yoga is a fast-paced fitness-based style of Vinyasa, yoga that emphasizes strength, endurance, and cardiovascular health. You have a back injury, sir, and you want to do something fast-paced. Yoga, yoga? Go to a doctor. How about that? Go to a doctor, not a yoga studio.
My good friend RJ, who owns Surf Break, where Luigi Mangione was staying, he referred Luigi to the studio because Luigi had a back injury. He was here to heal himself. I distinctly remember when he walked in the door, all the heads turned. All the women were going, "Who's this guy?" I'm like, calm down, calm down. As a student, Luigi was very respectful. I gave him a whole program to work with his injury, what to stay away from and what he could do and what to avoid. He wasn't messing around. Like he's like, when I gave him something to do, he was like, okay. He wanted to fix his injury. He was there over a year period.
That's smart.
Through yoga and massage therapy, Dorian says Mangione's back pain improved, but it would not be enough to keep him from going under the knife.
So I wonder if he stopped surfing, volleyball, and all them things and was just you doing the yoga, right, at the time. I'm curious about that. I wonder if he was doing all those things still and then the yoga was helping him.
We chat a little before class, after class. I'd be like, how do you feel? How's your back doing? And he's like, oh, I feel really good. He never left once where he was like, my back feels worse. So that's good. You have to be very mindful as a teacher when you're dealing with someone like that has a lower back injury and all the nerve endings down there. It's debilitating.
Luigi returned to the East Coast, where he underwent spinal fusion surgery. It appears to have...
Okay. So I got that mixed up. So, okay. No wonders why his back was hurting. He did have a back injury. And apparently he never went to a doctor until he went back to the United States. He was just going and doing the fast-paced yoga with an injury that was so bad, they needed to do surgery and put metal implants in his body. You have to crush some things to be doing that. They don't just give metal to everybody. I mean, although everyone in our chat does have metal, but you know what I mean? Like, they try, if it's a break or something and it can heal on its own, they're not going to put metal in there. This was something where they needed to fuse his back together. Wow.
Worked as he felt well enough to set off on a new adventure, backpacking through Asia.
Now that was
While overseas, Mangione studied the writings of one of America's most notorious radical figures. In February 2024, he took to his Goodreads account to review the manifesto of Unabomber Ted Kaczynski, who killed 3 people and injured 23 others. Mangione called him an extreme political revolutionary.
It's easy to quickly and thoughtlessly write this off as a manifesto of a lunatic in order to avoid facing some of the uncomfortable problems it identifies.
By June, Mangione stopped posting on social media, but he continued to write in his personal journal.
I finally feel confident about what I'll do. The details are finally coming together, and I don't feel any doubt about whether it's right or justified. I'm glad in a way that I've procrastinated, because it allowed me to learn more about UHC. The target is insurance. It checks every box.
Was there a mental health component? Was there a use of prescription medication for pain? What sort of made him become a person who thought this behavior was okay?
After he went on the backpacking trip in Asia, he went to San Francisco. Then he goes dark. His parents can't get a hold of him. His mom reports him missing in the fall of 2024. She can't reach him.
He finally resurfaced that December in a way no one would ever expect.
Hey, Ma.
The next time I saw him was on the news. So I was like, really? That guy doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would do something like that. He was like happy-go-lucky kind of guy, social, and everybody said he was just a nice guy.
I just would never expect someone who went to our school to, be involved in this. So it was just shock, really. I'm still shocked.
See the person there?
Since his arrest, in some corners, he's considered a hero.
I have never seen this much adoration for someone accused of murdering a man in cold blood, let alone somebody accused of doing it on camera.
Since his arrest, some have celebrated the suspect and even made threats against police and other people in the Altoona community. That's something Governor Josh Shapiro and others are working to shut down.
In some dark corners, this killer is being hailed as a hero. Hear me on this. He is no hero.
Beyond disgusting, beyond shocking that this is where our country and our people have fallen, that we're going to justify this very cowardly action. In the cover of darkness, he sneaks up behind Brian, shoots him with a gun, and runs away over this twisted political bent that his take on the inadequacies of the insurance industry justify a murder.
Young women in particular love him. They think he is gorgeous. It's almost as if they think, oh God, he's going to get out of jail and he's going to get off and marry me. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking, but you see all of this kind of hero worship of Luigi Mangione.
In fact,
yeah, I mean, how they feel about that? They're all out there like talking and hanging out, right? There's only, I mean, I'm sure he's got room for more than one, but you know what I mean? There's probably only going to be a couple lucky girls in the crowd. And the older woman, I'm rooting for the older woman, the 56-year-old, because what she said on the Rolling Stones thing, I don't know whether it be her mom or Effie. I was like, oh, dang. It's like, dang. And this is what I was trying to find. Okay, so he has like a gifts. Is this Gifts and Go or something? I don't know what it is, but he has like a legal fund. And I think it got up to like $500,000 last time I saw it. I thought it did. But I tried to go over to a lawyer, and I remember her saying, I thought I remember her saying anyway, that they were going to be like really open and transparent about like, you know, the money that was coming in for it. And they were going to have it on their website. And I don't see it anymore. I thought they had it on there for a little while.
In fact, his legal defense fund has raised over $1 million
oh my
from
gosh.
more than 28,000 donations.
I'm in the wrong profession. $1 million. I bet Brian Koberger's feeling pretty shitty. I'm sorry, but I mean, I kind of want to write him a note and just be like, you know, Luigi Mangione got $1 million, right? And that's it. Just write that and then put your secret admirer. Not admirer.
He's also received around $40,000 in his jail commissary account.
At the jail, as he's getting this.
He's got more in his account than some of us make in a whole damn year. And that's in his commissary account. His commissary. For noodles, honey buns, and Pepsis. He's good for life. He's good. If he gets a life sentence, he is good to go. He don't need any more money, honeys. Keep your money. Keep your money. No one wants to be like that one girl that was in love with Brian Koberger, was her, the Hislop girl. No one wants to be her. $1 million in his defense fund from, was it 28,000 donors? $1 million. And then he has $40,000 in his commissary. I know, honeymoney's like $4 in jail. But I'm just like, man, for real? Tequila's and crushed soda. He's going to be living the life in jail. You might as well just get him the TV. He's going to get the clear TV. He's going to get the Walkman. He's going to get the extra shoes. $1 million.
Royal treatment from other inmates. We know that he has garnered a ton of money in donations. So there is this group of people that really have this more sympathizing feeling for him.
Following Luigi Mangione's arrest, social media explodes with TikTok videos. People saying, look, educate yourself about jury nullification. Luigi's a hero. These guys had it coming. What he did it for us.
The romanticization of Mangione could be an aspect of the case. And I will name check the Karen Reed case that came down not that long ago, where every day the jury had to walk by hundreds of supporters. You could hear the supporters chanting in the courtroom during deliberations. And there's going to be no shortage of Mangione supporters. And they're not all going to be people who believe they're in love with him.
I'm just going to stop this for a second and read you this little thing I just found. Healthcare in 2025 and 26 is becoming less affordable compared to in 2024, with premiums projected to rise by 10 to 11% due to increased healthcare spending and potential expiration of enhanced subsidies. While coverage remains accessible for many, costs are outpacing wages. Yeah. So I was just seeing it. It grew. It says it grew though. Rising cost grew 7.2% in 2024. I'll have to see what it did in 2025 and 2026. But yeah.
They're going to be people who are in love with his ostensible political message.
Who's the real terrorist? UHC!
With his supporters in tow, Mangione faced a thorough investigation with a laundry list of charges.
When Mr. Mangione was initially charged, he was charged in state and federal court. What that means is there's two different jurisdictions that have two different sets of laws, and both can charge you under their jurisdictions and their statutes.
New York State hit him with 11 charges, including murder in the first degree, murder in the second degree, and various weapons charges. He also faced federal charges.
He had a terrorism charge as an overlay to that. Murder is a crime of terrorism. He's also got weapons charges, and there's a weapons charge back in Pennsylvania, which they may never get to.
The federal side charged him with a murder case as well. They're seeking capital punishment. And then they charged him with some other less serious counts.
Luigi Mangione back in a New York City courtroom again today. When he's asked for his plea, Mangione tells the judge, not guilty.
Thank
Mangione
you.
has.
I'll at least give him that. I'm gonna give him that. He at least had the balls to say not guilty, and not just stand silent or sit silent or whatever, like the other ones have.
To plead not guilty.
Ryan, I'm looking at you.
Right?
99.999 times out of 100, a defendant will plead not guilty. And the reason for that is because at that juncture, when you have to enter that plea, you've seen no discovery. You have no idea what the state is using against you.
Furthermore,
I like it.
He's got the money for good.
I mean, if he's going to say I'm not guilty, I'm good for him.
Good lawyers.
He was on display for everyone to see in the biggest staged perp walk I've ever seen in my career.
These lawyers are going to challenge everything, and you get a good ruling where some key evidence goes away. Now, all of a sudden, he starts to see a little daylight.
Anytime anyone's going to have a trial, they are pleading not guilty, and that's the reason for the trial.
A win in court for Luigi Mangione. 2 state counts of domestic terrorism dismissed, including a first-degree murder count that could have sent him to prison for life.
The judge felt that under the laws and under the statutes in New York, that the government could not prove terrorism charges based on the fact that the targeted person was one and it was not a target of a group of people. I think that was probably the right legal call.
The judge threw it out. I hope they're appealing that. Somehow or other, either they blew it or the judge blew it because it's textbook. Somebody blew it here.
The problem is what that leaves the prosecutors with is this second-degree murder charge. It really minimizes the amount of time he could potentially serve in prison.
And it minimizes the freaking the crime. If you ask me, this is not a second. I'm sorry. This is not a second-degree murder charge. We all saw that. We also, even if it, let's say, for shits and gigs, not Luigi, so we're going to have to find someone else that it is. But we saw a man with eyebrows that looked just like Luigi's in surveillance before and after take a gun and not only shoot this man once, but 3 times because there's 3 bullet casings outside. So, and he followed him to do it. No, that would make me so mad. If I was Brian Thompson's wife, I would be so angry.
Now looking at 15 years to life, but you can be paroled after 25. So obviously,
he's looking at 25 tops.
That's a slap on the wrist in the grand scheme of looking at the juxtaposition of federal charges and talking about capital punishment.
Luigi Mangione is currently at the Metropolitan.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but do you guys remember? Didn't they have a Luigi contest and like all these guys walked and like went somewhere and they all like looked like Luigi? Oh, good night. Luigi thinks he's something special, cold-blooded premeditated murder. Oh. Well, let me know how. Let us know if you need anything.
Detention center in Brooklyn.
Yeah, just where like P. Diddy was.
This is the same federal lockup where Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide. It's the same federal lockup.
Look at all that.
Housed.
And you tell me, I'm sorry, it's another case, but why did he have that much clothes? And I mean, I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
Sean Diddy Combs while he awaited trial. So this is a notorious jail.
Timelines on these types of criminal charges, especially murder trials, usually take a couple of years.
They're going to be throwing everything they can at the wall to challenge every part of this.
And they have.
Lawyers.
In September, Mangione's attorneys went after comments made by Attorney General Pam Bondi, who called Thompson's murder a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America. They claim those comments will sully the court case and the death penalty should be taken off the table. His attorney...
Does his eyebrows look thinner? To me, they kind of do. Maybe it's the jail food that makes your eyebrows not be looking so hot. But where he's at, where he's at, he gets steak dinner, remember? We read off Diddy or P. Diddy or Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him, Sean Diddy Combs. We read off his dinner menu and lunch menu and breakfast menu. We read over them. It's a menu. It's not like Tuesday you get this slop, Wednesday you get that slop. It's like you can order off a certain menu and you get like steak, fish, chicken, like fried chicken.
He's also claimed...
But Rex Heuermann did tell the smiley face killer, though, that they didn't get butter there for their biscuits. So he doesn't like that.
Mangione's backpack was searched without a warrant, and that his statements made to arresting officers were done before he was read his Miranda rights.
When you're filing motions to challenge every aspect of the case as it came forward, that's a delaying tactic. That's what defense attorneys do. Why? Because memories fade. People lose interest. You exhaust people.
They're even going after comments alleged to have been made by Mangione's mother. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenney said she told law enforcement that it might be something that she could see her son doing. Defense attorneys argue they have no evidence to substantiate that claim.
I think the number one strategy would be attacking the evidence, because everything that we're seeing now is really more for cameras than it is for a courtroom. I know they filed a motion in regard to whether or not they had a right to search him once he was found in the McDonald's.
Protesters are gathering outside a Manhattan courtroom where accused CEO killer Luigi.
Look at the people in the blown up freaking outfits. Oh my God. Okay. What are you doing with your life if you're a grown ass person, a grown ass adult, and you're wearing a Luigi outfit, right? Where Luigi's head's like right by your crotch. I don't know why. Oh, because you're on his shoulders. Okay, I get it now. I see it now. Okay. And then we've got the Pink Panther over here. And then we got this guy from Mario. What is going? Mario is a sacred game, guys. It's sacred. What are you doing? And Luigi's my favorite player. We're not doing this, okay? We're not doing this. I play old school Nintendo. And why? Who's the pink guy? I don't know who that is, but this is what we're doing with our time. Give Luigi a laptop. Luigi has a laptop for 8 hours a day. He can see his criminal case on it. They give him a little disc and he slides it in and he can see his case. Now he can't get on Tinder or Facebook or Instagram, but he can look at his case, lady, with the Luigi needs a laptop.
Mangione is expected to appear for a pretrial hearing.
Almost a year after the shooting, Luigi Mangione was back in court for another high-profile hearing.
This hearing could make or break the case against Luigi Mangione. His lawyer is hoping to get key evidence against the 27-year-old accused murderer thrown out.
The evidence in question? The same items discovered in Mangione's backpack at the time of his arrest, including the 3D printed pistol and a journal detailing his alleged motives.
His lawyers say Altoona police in Pennsylvania illegally searched his backpack because they did not get a search warrant to do that until 7 hours later.
When the evidence against your client is voluminous, you got to try to get rid of it. Was he Mirandized? Did they have the probable cause to look through his bag? These are things you're going to do as the defense attorney to try to get rid of the evidence, because this is pretty powerful evidence.
I would be doing the legal motions where I actually had laws and precedent to focus on. I think the rest of what we're seeing is very performative.
Yeah,
So
he doesn't want
anytime they
any of
put
these
something
people.
out into the press that sort of.
I don't think that there is a woman or man out there that has sent this man some money that he would be like, yep, I'm going to get out of here and marry you, boo.
Humanize him or give him a justification, I'm sure the donations rise. So I think there's dual strategy happening here.
If Mangione is found not guilty and no one is brought to justice for this crime, many people worry Thompson's assassination may empower individuals to kill those they disagree with. In fact, that may have already started.
I think we've already seen copycat crimes. I think with the murder of Charlie Kirk, the fact that the shooter is being accused of etching things on the shell casings, I think right there, that was a copycat aspect.
But he also taps.
Okay, that was it. That was it. That was it. What else is the same? I hate when people when they compare cases and it's like, well, what else? That's it? You only got one thing that's the same? That's not. I mean, that could be a copycat thing, but I mean, probably not. He probably was just as crazy as this other guy and he wanted to write something on the bullets because he wanted to get a message across.
Into the politics of the age.
I mean, this was like people everywhere. You know what I mean? Like a group of people in a gathering. Like, I don't know. I just find it a little bit different than a single man walking at 6:30 in the morning over to a conference center and shot in the back. Like, I mean, nothing against Charlie Kirk. He got shot too, but.
Which is that there
I just don't see
have-nots
the same similarity.
are being hard done by, and they need to strike back by any means necessary. And that does play in a little bit to the accused in the Charlie Kirk assassination. because there is this
Auto school
meme
was cute.
that the ends justify the means. And there are a lot of people who are frankly just very frustrated with the way they feel the culture is going. And so they're clutching now at causes and ways and visible means to strike back, for lack of a better term. And this has come to represent that.
I think it should make everybody unsettled, not just with Brian's loss, but we saw with Charlie Kirk and these other really high-profile kind of, political motivated murders where there seems to be an emboldening of people that if they don't like your political beliefs or what your employer does or stands for, there's a disturbing number of people who seem to take a fairly blasé attitude about the prospect of you being harmed.
There's this weird thing going on now with violence. I think people are getting radicalized online is what's happening. They're going to places online or maybe they're reading books. I think these people shoot somebody and then after they're like, what did I just do? I don't think they understand the repercussions.
If you feel strongly about a policy issue, get involved with a campaign.
No, he did.
You don't go around.
He knew the repercussions afterwards. He knew how to get on that freaking bicycle, didn't he? And go through the freaking park, toss his bag out. I mean, come on, guy. That wants to be his friend because he keeps smiling every time he's talking about him and laughing. Yeah, the girls thought he was so cute.
Murdering people. And if we fall to that or dignify that, where does that stop?
This case has the potential to affect our country for generations to come. That is why so many people across America will be glued to the truck.
No. Now that girl right there in the black shirt, she should get a letter back from Luigi, I feel like. Because look at her. She is like, right there it is on my chest. I'm saying it with my whole chest. Free Luigi. She ain't covering nothing. But these other ladies with the mask on, and then these look like what are they going to a talk show? Looks like talk show cards. They're covering their face. If anyone gets a letter back from Luigi, it should be this one right here because she's down, girl. She's down.
Once Luigi Mangione finally faces a judge and
all
jury.
in masks.
If you look at this case only under the lens of the law, which is what jurors are supposed to do,
she was like,
sympathy or prejudice are not supposed to influence your decision.
was my
Then
dream.
I think this case is a slam dunk win for the prosecutors. If you get a bunch of jurors on that case that want to be social justice warriors, the state could lose.
Oh my God, please don't put any of those women on the jury. Good thing the prosecution and the defense gets back and forth.
At the end of the day, you need a common standard for what's legal and what's not. Otherwise, everybody's just running around doing what they've decided is just. And so that's the risk here. Of course, you can't have vigilantism, no matter how you justify it to yourself.
I mean, he had the gun. I don't know. That's all you got to say for me, pretty much. I just picked up the gun because I thought it was cool. I don't know.
Brian Thompson's funeral was held today in Minnesota. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children.
It is innocent, though, until proven guilty.
There's no telling what Brian and somebody with that intellect and character might have done with his life. I remember he had some political ambitions too at one point. He really was a normal guy at the end of the day, just a guy who was just really good with numbers.
It's beyond the pale to think that you could lose your life on your way to a meeting for work because someone else decided they don't like the way you do business.
Just think too, you're like going to work, he's probably like, man, I'm tired. I really don't want to be going here. Not knowing that there's someone behind him going to shoot him.
Brian Thompson, who he was, the fact that he was a human being who was gunned down in the street, truly getting lost because of whatever anger people have at big corporations and at the healthcare industry. And I think it's very sad.
I think he probably want to be remembered as a good dad and a good person. I remember him being very humble.
No one interviewed for this special has any direct involvement in the case. Well, neither do we. Yeah, well, he said he was innocent. He said he's claiming not guilty. So he did do that. I was surprised because, everybody else has their attorney do it for them. They'll sit there, won't say nothing. I hate that. And have some respect and say either yes, judge, no, judge. You know, those things. They simply, I mean, yeah, he kind of was on camera. That was the kind of the thing. And then he kept coming, like getting back on camera. Like he couldn't escape the cameras. The cameras are everywhere. I think he thought, no one will think it's me. Not me. I don't know, you know? So it didn't take it. No, it's actually not had any change. It's actually gone it's gone worse for people in healthcare. The last 2 years when I looked it up, healthcare has gone down. I mean, it's gotten worse. I mean, not like gone down, it's gone up. It's like, it's projected to rise 10 to 11% this year. That's crazy. I wonder how much my surgery will be. I have to look. I have to look and be like, let me see the bill. Let me see the bill. Because I know that hospital bills can be very, very, very expensive. I was in the hospital for a long time and it gets very expensive. I think that I guess you could get denied treatment for like cancer medicine if you can't afford like their premiums. But I know that with like a lot of stuff, I don't know. I've never had trouble with insurance, so maybe that's what it is. And my parents have never had trouble with insurance. So I guess I don't know what it's like to have trouble with. I mean, I can't say I don't know how to explain it. Like I've always had either insurance through work because I had to work to have insurance. Like you have to have insurance, so you work to do it. Or if I didn't do that, like after my car accident, I couldn't work. I went down and I talked to the state and they helped me. Like, I mean, I don't see how hard it is for people to do that. Like people say that they can't get help with something. It's like, have you tried? Like, have you tried? Because our boy Luigi over here had millions. He paid for his back surgery. I mean, I don't even know how much that is. That's a pretty penny. He would have had to pay for that, right? Because they wouldn't do surgery on his back if he didn't have the insurance. So he had to have had insurance to do the back surgery, or at least he would have had to have been able to pay out of pocket, which I don't even think that they would even discuss that. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna ask the surgeon. Be like, would you do a surgery on me if I just paid you out of pocket? Because you'd have to pay the surgeon and then you'd have to pay the anesthesiologist separate. I mean, they're a separate deal. I don't know how that would work. You know what I mean? Like, if you were like, I want to pay out of pocket for this $100,000 surgery, like, but I want to ask. You can get denied the meds and the test that needs to be ran. Well, if they deny you medication, then they just have to, what it is your doctor just has to prescribe you an alternative medication. Like I've been denied medication before and they just have to prescribe an alternative. So they don't do that. They will just tell you, like, if you need something and you have the money for it, they'll just say, nope, you can't have it. I don't know. I've never heard of that. But maybe that's what I don't know. I just know I was on my dad's insurance until I was like 26, but he died when I was 22. So that didn't really work out. And then I had insurance through the job that I had. So I had like two insurances, like one through my dad, one through like a job I had. And then when I got in my accident, that's when I knew I was going to need health insurance. We all knew I was going to need health insurance. The hospital even knew, right? And they shipped me over. And then for my mother, she had insurance, but she had to pay a spend down, and it was $400 and some a month. She could not afford that. She couldn't. No, there would be no way in this world that my mom could have been able to afford that. So what they did for her was, if she went to her counselor twice a month, she saw her counselor twice a month, that they would pay her spend down for her. So the state would pay her $400 and some spend down, and she would get all of her medications. She'd get to see her psychiatrist, her counselor, And all the doctors. So see, I've never had like anything I've never had, and my family's had cancer, but I've never been directly, like, I've never directly seen it. Do you know what I mean? Because they lived in Philadelphia, they lived in Florida. So it wasn't like around me to where it was like, they would talk to me about their meds. Because I know that meds are extremely expensive for cancer. Like there was somebody in here that used to pay some ridiculous amount for cancer meds. I forget who it was. Was it you, Ashley? I don't think it was you though. No, I remember if it was you. I know you pay expensive stuff though, but I mean, I remember her saying, I think it was for her, like her son or something. And you're the first person. I'm sorry, Tracy. Cancer flies all over both sides. It's like, could y'all chill? And Parkinson's also. And I'm already on medication for shaking. So they're already like, my neurologist is pretty straightforward with me. And he's like, yeah, you might be heading in that direction. Because I thought I wasn't shaking that much. And like, I put my hands out and like, you can't really see them, but like this one was like shaking, but I thought I was having a good day. I was like, I thought this was a good day. And he's like, oh no, hell no, girl. We need to put you on medication. And then they had me on something for 3 times a day. And I'm not good at doing that. Like, I'm not good at taking medication 3 times a day. I'll forget. So he's like, will you do better with 1? And I was like, yeah, why didn't you offer me that in the beginning? Oh man. You know what, Ashley, you give them as much as you can. If they ever reject it, my mom said that it's automatically paid. Like if they reject your money and they send it back or something, that it's like automatically paid. Look into that. Because that was a while ago. My mom was messing around. She knew how to get around stuff. Yeah. And I could see being in pain, like being like that in pain. I was in pain. And there were times that I wasn't as, I guess, as peachy as I, think I was. But I do remember the next door neighbor would come over. My mom would knock on the wall or she'd hear me yell. Because I would have like moments where I, F this, like what's going on here? Like, why don't I have my eye or something? Like I would get like down, but in the hospital, I was never like that. It was just more when I got out of the hospital. And I think it was not like the environment because my mom was great. It wasn't my mom. It was just like me. I think I needed to be in there longer, even though I didn't need to be in there longer. Like I was healthy enough for them to let me leave, but I didn't want to leave. Like if I could go back and get like as healthy as I was when I walked out of there, like not healthy, like I was broken still. I was in a wheelchair, but like health wise, like the way I feel, I would go back. I feel like they just had me on a good regimen before. It's a medication it's for like shaking and stuff. It's, they give it to people that have Parkinson's. They gave it to me for, shaking. And I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. And I was on it 3 times a day. And then, And then, I'm on it 1 time extended release a day now. He wouldn't do it the second time. Oh man. My dad didn't have cancer. My mom didn't, but my aunt on my dad's side had breast cancer, I think twice. My grandmother on my dad's side, that to the point where they had their breast removed. And then my grandmother had like liver, pancreatic or something cancer. I don't remember her ever going through chemo, my grandmother. I think she just let it take over. I think that's what happened. It just started taking over. And then my aunt, like I said, and then I know there was someone else. Maybe my grandfather. I know my other grandfather had a stroke. My other grandmother had lung cancer. For my tremors, yeah, because they're so bad. Like I sweat, like my hands, my palms sweat. I don't know if you see they're red, but they'll like get sweaty, like, and yeah, I just shake. But I don't shake just like sometimes. I was shaking like all the time, like it was just constant. So it helps a lot. The medicine does. It was the first time I got onto a medication that wasn't like a controlled substance or something, where I actually felt the medication work. Like I was like, oh my gosh, it's like helping like I could feel my hands calming down. Like they weren't as shaky and stuff. And oh, it felt so nice just to like just sit there and not have my hands shaking. I get it from my mom too, though. She had shaky hands. And then my grandfather had Parkinson's on my mom's side. So she might have been getting it too. Yeah. I remember the AIDS pandemic. Yep. Oh, sorry, Renee. We have a lot of people that have had cancer or have cancer. And look, Tracy's like, I'm not going to hurt nobody. Well, I'm going to jump off here. I'm sorry, Crystal, that your grandpa has leukemia. My friend actually growing up in school, she got brain cancer. She was like the coolest girl ever. Like she really was. She was really, really cool. When I first moved into my parents first moved into their house, there was this little girl, blonde hair. I can remember her. Like I can just, that's the, like when we first moved in, that's like the first like memory that I have. And I was 9 and she's standing outside in her cast, her big pink cast. And she's just looking at my house, like, cause she lived like diagonal from me. And I remember thinking like, does she want to play with me? Like, you know, cause I was like 9, I was a little girl. And then we ended up becoming like best friends. And then in 6th grade, they found the first tumor. And then she made it until she was about, I think, 18. Tumors off and on. Just like your mom. Oh, it was terrible. The last time I saw her was at Red Lobster. And I remember like being too scared to even go up to her table. That's what I'll have like that regret, you know? But I just didn't want to like, I saw so many other people like going up to her and stuff. And I just didn't want to like bother her, but I knew I wouldn't have bothered her. She would have been like, you know, but yeah, her mom really took it hard. I mean, I can only imagine. I can't imagine. Her mom was like a healthy weight growing up. I'd say like 140. She went down to like 70 some pounds. I would see her in Kroger working and I'm like, we got to get some food in you, honey. Like, you know, like, and I would just like kind of joke with her and she's doing a lot better now, but yeah. You don't hear much about AIDS anymore. You don't. Well, thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate it. I'm going to jump off here. Oh, and if anybody has any comments on my dang intro, don't comment. Some lady. It hasn't been some lady. It's been like a lot of people. It's like I'm going to have to do a community thing. But I think you guys seem to like it. The people that are here every night seem to don't mind. You guys don't seem to mind it. I mean, I could pop right on, you know, but I always like to do the intro. It gives me it's literally, I'm going to tell you my secret. This is what I do during the intro. Okay. If the dogs aren't settled in here, I get them in here because I know they're going to, as soon as I sit down and we get started, they're going to come to the door. Remember, they always do. So, I should download it to Spotify. So then, sometimes I'll have to go to the bathroom because I have a nervous bladder. Okay. I have a nervous bladder. So it takes me a minute. And then what is the other thing? I was telling Vincent earlier. I was like, there's a few things that I do. Like, I just like, I get nervous too. I mean, it's, you know, it's alive. I got to get my bearings about me. Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, I used to go live with this one person. And you can see them backstage when you're backstage with people. Like if you guys are both backstage before you come up to do your like live, you can see the other person. And he would make all these really weird noises. And I'm like, I definitely don't do that before my live. Don't make any weird noises. But I thought, yeah, I'm like, I think people like the intro because when I changed it, it was like, what happened to our intro? It was like crickets. Everyone's like, where's our intro? So yeah. Marcelo, for sure he is. Yeah, so I'm gonna jump off here. I do have to go to shoot. I always forget. I have to go to physical therapy tomorrow at 10:10. I have to be there. Why'd I do that? It's an hour away. So I don't know about this week because I don't have a bathing suit. But I think next week I'm going to try to get a bathing suit and I'm going to go there to their pool because they have like a where you could pay like $20 for like a day pass into their gym that's hooked on to the hospital. So it's like actually the hospital's kind of hooked onto the gym because the hospital part is smaller. It's just where like a lot of the athletes train at for Ohio State. They go to this new center that I go to that's like super nice. And then right on the side of it, they have like this place. It's a gym and it's beautiful. I've never seen a gym so pretty in my life. It's got like an eatery. It's got like a balcony. It's got a slide that goes outside the building and it comes back in. What? I need that in my life. I need to go down that slide. I've been dying to go down a slide. I really have. So I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go get me I got to get a one piece and I got to get a net or shower cap for this hair. Because the extensions will turn color, I guess. So, but thanks for being here. If you see me, I'll be posting me swimming too. I'll be like, look at me go down this slide and probably ruin my phone. That'd be funny. That wouldn't be funny. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out.